Hey, I'm Steve Hugendorn from Yeti Cycles. I am one of the engineers there, and I was the engineer on the asr7. This is our newest long travel all-mountain bike, sort of in a category that hasn't been around yet, but hopefully it's one that's going to stay and stick around. We essentially took our 575 platform, added some travel to it, and changed the geometry a little bit, but it's still a bike that you can climb uphill, and then also it's awesome on the descents. We've got 7 inches of travel. It is same chainstay length as our 575 and ASR. It's at 16.9 inches. It's got a single-sided chainstay, as you can see. We've got an oversized carbon swing arm on this side. Turn that around. And on the drive side, you'll notice that there actually is no chainstay. We had to do this in order to keep the geometry where we wanted it. We could have lengthened the chainstay to make room to build a chainstay on the drive side, but we wanted to keep it at 16.9. It was very important for the climbing characteristics and the descending. So we spent a lot of time, 2 years actually, on R&D and being able to handle all the forces in this bike and have one-sided chainstay. Now the pivot between the chainstay and seat stay is back at the axle location. So internally in the chainstay we've got 2 bearings with the tapered inner race. Those get preloaded in this assembly, and that takes any slop or play that you typically will have in a bearing. And then on the front here we've got massive oversized bearings. Again, 2 sets of bearings where we preload the inner race, and that's if I remember correctly, that's a 30 millimeter ID bearing. So it's a very oversized bearing with a bottom bracket bearing. It takes a 12 by 135 standard rear hub. We've got a custom axle that threads into an insert on this side. And then you've got a special nut on this side that you can loosen with a 5 millimeter wrench. You just insert that into the hole here, and then you can loosen up your axle and slide that out. The chainstay and seat stay are held together with a insert. It's a stainless steel insert, and then there's a collar in there. That's so when you pull your wheel out, your chainstay and seat stay assembled. They don't start flopping around. Then we've got additionally a oversized carbon seat stay. Hidden inside the seat stay here we have a stiffening link. You'll notice it attaches at this pivot here, and then also attaches to the front triangle. This doesn't control rate or wheel path or anything, it's just there to add stiffness to the rear assembly. So really the rear swing arm is controlled at this point, and back at the axle, giving the frame enough stiffness so that you don't have that flex from one side of the chainstay. Third carbon part on the bike is an oversized dog bone. All bearing assembly. The bearings in the seat stay at this point, bearings in both points on the dog bone. And so there's no rotation actually inside the shock. You won't be wearing out any of the garlocks or any of the bushings that shocks typically have in them, because all the pivoting is going within these bearings. Hydroform top tube, hydroform seat tube, down tube is just shaped. So everything is butted, custom formed to our specification. We've got the tapered head tube, so it's 1 1/8, 1.5 inches. That can run in conjunction with Fox's tapered forks. Gives you the stiffest, lightest setup possible. You notice here we got the crisping tapered headset, and then you can run your 1 1/8 cockpit components, which is much lighter than 1.5 inches. We have also added a cable stop right here at the front triangle. This is to be used if you run a gravity dropper seat post, so you can route your housing through here and then back up to your seat. The frame can either be run with a single ring, ISCG, mounted chain guide. So you can see we have an ISCG right here, ISCG mount. And then additionally on the main pivot, we have a mount that you can attach an E-type front derailleur. Probably get in there and show it right there. So you can directly mount your E-type derailleur there, and it's very clean, stiff assembly for your derailleurs mounted. So you can either run this with 2 rings, 3 rings, or a single ring with a pin guide. Pin guide, there you go. Yeah, there you go. And that's about it. It's got an 8.5 by 2.5 rear shock. So it's a good leverage curve for that travel. You can run it with a coil, a DHX Air, or an RP23. 30.9 C-post. And frame comes in at about 7 3/4 pounds.
Okay, great. Thank you.
You bet.